muskrat. It's swimming. Oh, there we go. In my backing.
This is the TFC. This is the TFC.
This is the TFC Riffles and Rants podcast.
Welcome back. This is the TFC Riffles and Rants podcast, episode 6, take 2. Because I effed up the audio.
We had some technical difficulties.
I left the metronome on.
We would really like to share the first podcast with you. However, you're not going to see that. So this one's going to be the poor version of that one.
I had a lot to deal with. We went on a hiatus, and I had to remember how to podcast, and I just kind of forgot. We're going fishing for the first time tomorrow in like 2.5 months.
It's been a while.
Since before September. Yeah.
Where was the last time we
Montana.
fished? Oh, when we delivered a boat.
Yeah, when we delivered a boat. And then it was elk season. We got absolutely wrecked doing that. That was good times.
I'm still not recovered. I'm trying to recover.
And then duck hunting started. Then we started building the duck blind.
By the way, we do have a duck blind coming out that attaches to your TFC hydro sleigh. It's going to be...
Yeah, if you haven't seen the video, I'll play it right now.
It's pretty cool. It's still in the developmental stage.
That was prototype 1. That was prototype 1. We got
2.0. 2.0 is coming along.
And then 3.0.
You're going to be excited.
That's pretty sick. You can fish out of it.
Hunt out of it.
Oh, it's everything I want.
The ultimate cast.
All I want to do is just sit in that boat all day.
We're going to try to have a place that you can cook some food in there.
Then you can start a fire in there, just get burnt alive. You can't even escape.
We have an inflatable that you're going to put a fire pit in. Does that sound like a good idea?
Sounds like a great idea. Get fire involved out there. But yeah, all right. This is episode 6. I'm sorry. We've been gone for a long time.
Yeah. Apologies for those
We left
of you
the fans hanging, like all 5 of them.
To all 5 of our fans, we apologize. The following's huge. Anyway, there's something that really kind of threw us into this that we wanted to.
Last episode, the episode before that was about the Blue River. But now there's been more stuff that has come to light after, because when we did the first episode 4, it was just what we had heard. There were rumors about permit systems for the lower Blue River. And now there has been a crap storm that has came out. I mean, everyone and their mom's posting about it.
Yeah, it's been picked up by public. I mean, there's been some pretty big publications that are reposting it. Summit Daily really did a big write-up on it, which I kind of have parts of it right here in front of me.
And now
reading.
The guys at Cutthroat Anglers have a big petition starting about it to ban pellet feeding.
They want to ban pellet feeding.
State.
Yeah.
So I actually agree with that.
100%.
I'd love to see that happen. But yeah, you started. You got you got the paperwork over there. You got the files. You got a whole filing cabinet.
Well, I will tell you, I killed many trees to talk about conservation.
Gosh, dang.
At some point, if we have a bigger table, I'd like to have a laptop, but I don't really have enough room over here for a laptop. So I have.
That's
paper.
Crazy. They could have a laptop right there. You just are not. Just admit it. You're not good enough at getting through a laptop.
I like a mouse with my laptop, and there's no mouse room over here. Like, it's a struggle. It's all up on me.
Bad.
Okay, so let's first talk about what the proposal was. So let's back up a little bit. So there was a land swap that has been in the works actually for 20 years is when the land swap first was talked about, because as the billionaire Paul Tudor Jones began buying up parcels of land in the Blue Valley area, in the Blue Valley Basin. He started putting them all together, and there was landlocked pieces of BLM. So the state wanted to pull those out, and he wanted to pull them out because they were no good to the public for the most part. He claimed that they were no good to the public. The land swap happened, and basically all it did was lose access to quality fishing in some areas, and claiming that it gave it back in other better, more beneficial areas, which it did not.
And all of this is taking place, just to clarify for people that don't even know what it is the lower Blue River below Green Mountain Reservoir.
Yes. From Green Mountain Reservoir to the confluence of the Colorado River.
Exactly.
So it's considered the lower Blue.
Yes.
And that's what the reference is made to. So up until this point, let's talk about what has been able to happen. It's open to floating. There's a ton of private property. So we're talking about basically a 10 to 12 mile section, of which actually they claim 8 miles of it is within Blue Valley Ranch. So there's a section above that's all public in the canyon, Green Mountain Canyon. There's a small little tiny section below the ranch to the confluence of the Colorado River that are public. But for the most part, the bulk of all of it is floating through private property, of which to this point was accessible by basically lowering a boat down. You lower a boat down a steep embankment, you take off, and you can't really stop anywhere in the lower 8 miles of the section.
Yeah.
But it was first come, first served. There's no limit on how many people could do it. Like it's just an open, free river, like the way that a river should be, that you should be able to float it when you want and how you want.
Yes.
As long as you don't touch the bottom of the river within the private property so that you're trespassing.
Because Colorado is not high water mark law
Correct.
like Montana.
So you can't anchor in that section. You can't get out
Or
to
Idaho.
pee. You can't get out to do anything. You can't touch any portion of the bank or the land under the river because that's Colorado water law. The river bottom belongs to the landowner.
Yes.
Okay. So now let's talk about what has happened, what has been happening for years on that 8 mile section of river.
Talk about it.
Okay. Paul Tudor Jones, billionaire who bought all this property, he's actually sunk a ton of money over starting in, what did I say, 2001,
20
basically.
plus years.
So 20 plus years, 25 years, there's been stream improvements being done on that 8 mile section. So let's talk about stream improvement first. There are weirs, there's channels, there's tons of boulder.
Multiple side channels.
Multiple sunken structures in place for holding water, we'll call it. There's been a ton of stream improvement. There has also been a lot of side channel and water diversion along there that takes that water out of the river, puts it into private ponds, private side channels, and the private side channels are not accessible.
No.
So only the main section of the river has been accessible because they're blocked off. Those side channels have trees and barriers so that you cannot use the private side channels. Additionally to all this work that's been done, and I want to give credit where credit's due. Like, I don't know how productive that water throughout that entire lower section would be without some of the stream improvement that's been done. I don't know. I was not down there in 1996 or 1994 prior to any of it being done. I don't know what kind of holding water there was. So the amount of money that's been pumped into it from a stream improvement portion, whether it's beneficial or not, it obviously couldn't have hurt from a holding water standpoint. But, and here's the big but, the ranch has private biologists that work for the ranch. They have private fish hatcheries that are only on the ranch, and they pellet feed the fish. And when
And
I
they
say
stock fish in there at 20 plus pounds.
yeah, not all of them are 20 plus pounds stock.
No, but they're stocked over 20 inches for sure.
Oh, for sure. When you get down into the ranch, we're talking about in a section, we'll call them fish of a lifetime, even though they're not real. They're put there, but we're talking about a 20-pound rainbow trout in some cases. 10 for sure. You can break 10, no problem. Or used to be able to, I should say.
Yeah.
Right? That is about to change in terms of access. So the land swap happened. There was a wade-in section portion that
That is now gone.
That's
that was
gone.
part of the land swap, yeah.
They took away
So now they're trying to implement a permit system.
for boaters.
Yes.
Fly fish-
For fishing
fishing-
specific boaters.
Yeah. So apparently you can kayak it or you can pleasure raft it as long as you don't have a rod with you. You don't need to be part of the permit system.
And do you want to quickly just go over why they are trying to put in a permit system?
think it's
what their
important.
claims are?
Here's what the claim
don't,
is.
Don't beat the horse to death, but
Here's, I'll just read this. This is coming straight from Friends of the Lower Blue, which is a nonprofit organization of which at least one person on the board works for Blue Valley Ranch because it's actually the fisheries manager or biologist
who's giving them all that info?
who's employed by the ranch, though.
Yeah.
He's also on the board of Friends of the Lower Blue. This is what the claim is. The proposal is to do a 10-year pilot permit system, so a 10-year pilot permit system to limit angling trips, basically so that they don't get too many per day. Right here it says, why is this necessary? The Lower Blue, long recognized as one of the greatest trout fisheries in the world. By the way, the only reason people might say that is because of the stocked fish that are fed.
That to me is the thing that makes me most angry about any of it, I think.
The first sentence in why it's important is to protect a fake fishery.
It's completely fake. And they're trying to say it's known as a world-class fishery. So what? The stupid ponds that you can go fish off like up north, like what are they called?
That's like saying that Tomke Fish Farms is a world-class fishery.
It is, because it's the same dang thing. Why? Just because it's in a river that they put these fake fish in and pellet feed them? Like, I'm sorry, that in itself shows the bias in this whole thing.
So that's the
keep
first
going.
sentence in why
Not
it's
a world-class
necessary.
fishery. It's completely fake.
Okay. I guess that's dependent on what your definition of a world-class fishery is. So we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. It says right specifically, with the increase in use, so have the fishing pressure on the river. At the same time, human-made changes upstream have altered the natural flow of water, weakened ecosystems, and reduced the river's productivity. Nutrients critical to trout and insects are now trapped behind dams. Water no longer flows naturally, no longer follow natural patterns. Fish populations are declining, and the river's world-class trout fishery is quietly slipping away. That's why they're claiming that the permit system. So they are blaming a decline in the quantity of fish. They're basically saying that everything is because of the fishing pressure.
Because of pressure and pressure alone.
At the same time, they're saying that human changes made upstream have altered the natural flow of water. Well, down on the ranch, they've altered all of the natural flow of
By
water.
creating multiple.
Side channels and dams.
Yeah. So that is completely
So number one,
contradictory.
they've done that. The other thing is that the
The
dam,
natural flow was disrupted well before they ever even started.
it was green, for fact-based clarification, Green Mountain Reservoir was built between 1938 and 1943. So
And Dillon was in the 60s,
yeah,
right?
1963.
Yeah.
100%. So there's two upstream dams that were there long before Paul Tudor Jones was doing anything with any of this property, long before he was
It's not
born.
like it's just been disrupted within the last 5 years,
100%.
besides his
So
side channels that he's built in the last 10 to 20.
So claiming that more people floating is damaging the fishery is a complete lie, because the only thing he cares about is the fishery.
It's a lie and it's not. It has, because people can't successfully release fish that are that big after they fight them for 15, 20 minutes, and because they can't get out of the water to release it. It's killing his fish, but it's not killing wild fish.
That's what the next thing that I wanted to talk about. So the Lower Blue, if we talk about that long section, a 10 or 12 mile section of river, okay? It is broken up into other sections. You have the Upper Canyon section, which nothing in any of the data
Is about the canyon.
is about the canyon. There is not.
Which has the best wild fish population, and no one wants to survey that or talk about
It
that.
hasn't been surveyed. I can't find one place where the canyon is surveyed to
But those
give us.
upper 2 or 3 miles.
Fish per mile. And the reason that the fish per mile matters is because they are using the data from testing of fish per mile to show
For the whole lower blue.
for the entire lower blue.
But we know exactly where it was taken because we saw multiple times of where they were
testing.
And we have a buddy who helped them do the shocking, and it was all above their ranch and below Spring Creek.
And what do you and I call that section?
The middle section.
The middle
And it's
section of
always
the lower
sucked.
blue.
It's always sucked.
It's not great.
And no one likes to fish it anyway. So their fishing pressure claim,
Yes.
based on where that, I just think it's completely bogus.
So here's why it's a complete like this is the part that it's a complete gaslighting job. So number one, it's a bait and switch because they got rid of the weigh-in section, claiming that they were going to give people more access. So they got that done through the land swap, and
Then a permit system came up immediately after that.
that was never part of the land swap. So that was the bait and switch part. But now let me tell you, all of you public fishermen that have access to public water, why it's the most gaslighted topic I've ever seen. In their paperwork, they claim that they stopped stocking programs and feeding programs in 2023. Okay? That is also the time where the biggest drop in fish numbers happened.
Yeah.
But the fish numbers that were sampled, the numbers they're talking about, were in their own private property. So this is why it's gaslighting. They stopped stocking and they stopped feeding. And that was at the same time where usage numbers went up.
Yeah.
So what they did is they stopped stocking, stopped feeding so that they could blame you for the fact that their fish aren't surviving anymore. When they stopped feeding them and
They stopped feeding, stopped stocking. We did see a lot of dead fish that were their massive pellet head fish, but then they stopped putting them in after that because they're tired of supplementing and spending that much money
for people to catch their
until they can
their
regulate
fish.
the amount of access that is being used by the public, and who knows where it goes from there.
Because you watch what will happen. There's nothing in any of this paperwork that says if they get their permit system, will they stop feeding or stocking fish? Nothing says that the future, because what they'll do to prove their point is that they'll get the permit system in, then a year later they'll start stocking and feeding, then they'll be able to use that data for the next 2 years.
And say that
the numbers went up.
Dude, nothing was natural or wild about that for the last 20 years.
No.
And that's what I
hasn't
want to
been.
talk about. Absolutely nothing about that lower blue in the private section has been wild. And all that they've claimed is that they're for conservation, about the world-class fishery that is completely fake, that they just raise their fish in hatcheries next to the river and dump in pellet heads and pellet feed them. And now they're trying to limit public access. Like what would you like? I mean, do you have more info before we go on what like the results we would rather see?
Let me just give you some comparison numbers that they're trying to claim. Also, it says right here, for some reason they are claiming that one fisherman on the lower blue is equivalent to 11 fishermen on other rivers.
What does other rivers mean? I mean, that's insane. It's because they're trying to take what were the fish numbers? They're trying to say, do they have other rivers listed?
Yes.
Oh,
so
okay, they do.
they're talking about other rivers and the fish numbers that are on them. One of them is
You showed me. It
Yeah.
was the three
Taylor.
sections of the Taylor,
Yep.
which is a micey shrimp fishery.
Yep.
So it's completely different
three sections
from the lower blue,
of the Colorado River.
which is a freestone, and it's completely has a different ecosystem than the lower blue.
And then it talks about Cheeseman Canyon, Upper and Lower Cheeseman Canyon.
Yeah, which can take the pressure. The pressure's not different, in my opinion, from Cheeseman to there. They instead of putting it in that way, they need to focus on why a tailwater like Cheeseman and Decker's is self-sustainable than the lower blue, because the issues are not from pressure. The issues are from the water quality and the bug life.
So this leads me to this. Let me get to this. It's claiming, this is their biologist. This is straight from their website, aquatic diversity. The upper blue, so they're claiming that the upper blue, which is a lot, and I don't know when they say the upper blue in this, they may be even talking about above Dillon.
Maybe.
Okay?
I'd imagine it's below
But this says
below Dillon.
that in these following rivers, the Upper Blue, the Fraser, and the Colorado River, there are 2 to 8 times higher an abundance of bug life, EPT, which is invertebrate, aquatic insects, okay? So they're claiming that those rivers have 2 to 8 times higher. So now, let's talk about if you already are telling us that the Blue has very little bug life relative to other rivers,
Yeah.
okay? And you claim that your goal is to keep the Lower Blue as a world-class fishery. Number one, it wasn't a world-class fishery because you just told us that there wasn't enough nutrients since 1938
To have a world-class fishery.
a world-class fishery. So basically, you're saying that the world-class fishery was created by your stocking and your feeding programs.
And then when you don't like results you're having because of people floating legally, that you try to limit public access and you stop stocking and stop feeding and say that the fish numbers are going down, it's a complete lie.
Yeah, it's blaming the public for something that you falsely created and then intentionally took away, right?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
So if we really were talking about saving the Lower Blue or creating a world-class fishery, what, in your view, would the Lower Blue look like if it was a world-class fishery? What kind of fish would you
My
want to see?
best, because there's no lake below it, so you don't get like lake run fish or anything, right? Like it's a tailwater. So compare it to the other best tailwaters in the state, which can't really compare it to Myces tailwaters because it's not a Myces fishery really anyway. Compare it to Cheeseman. And that's what it should look like. So you're having just a lot of consistent, like 16 to 18-inch fish throughout the whole section. I mean, when you look at Cheeseman and Deckers, it's a place that has low flows anyway, but it obviously must have holding water good enough and the bug life good enough to have a world-class fishery.
Yeah, I mean, people consider Cheeseman Canyon as a world-class fishery, and it's challenging because it's hard to catch fish there because the fish are smart there because they see so much fishing pressure. So I guess that this is what I'm really...
Well, that's the other point with fishing pressure that they try to claim.
Oh, yeah.
Because what we talked, like tailwaters, Cheeseman, fish get smarter and they eat more realistic bugs and they get picky. But in a place where they're pellet feeding them, all they eat is pellets. So they can't be picky.
Yeah.
Because they get
They
fed
get
by
fed.
pellets. So
Yeah.
when you throw a pellet fly or something that resembles that, it's going to get eaten by big dumb pellet heads.
And if you're already telling us that there's no nutrients because they're locked behind the dam, when you stop feeding a whole 8-mile section of river that was fed by pellets, 20-pound fish can't survive because you already told us there's no bug life.
And let's talk about what kind of impact. No one talks about the impact. Whatever wild fish or fish that come up from the Colorado River, if there's a wild population at all that's small, the impact that it has when those fish aren't seeing a lot of bugs and all of a sudden something gets dumped in and they start eating the pellets too. Like what kind of impact does that have on
Wild fish.
the natural state of that wild population? Do you know
Yeah,
what
I mean, will
Like,
wild
there's
fish-
some type of effect, I guarantee it.
Well, wild fish, I mean, you know what I equate it to, too? If you take a tiger from the wild and all of a sudden you start
Put it in the
feeding the
zoo.
wild tiger in the zoo, it doesn't know how to hunt anymore for itself.
Right.
So then that fish is going to die. So we're talking about feeding fish. So if we wanted to turn the blue, let's say that you and I had all of the resources in the world and we could do whatever we wanted, what would you want to do to the Lower Blue? What would you do to the blue? What would to make it a world-class fishery as a tailwater?
And that's what I pretty much agree with everything that is on that petition that was started, because it starts with banning pellet feeding in rivers like that. If you get rid of the complete unnatural feeding of fish and stop all of the side channels to get all of the water going through the one main, like where the water should be going,
Okay.
to get it back to the most natural state, and then start figuring out why the bug life sucks and if the water temps are too cold or too whatever it is.
On the scale of, let's say that we have a list of 10 things that you can do to protect a fishery or increase the fish numbers and fish size. Where would limiting floating be on that list?
The very last.
If on the list at all.
Yeah, literally.
Right?
I mean, pressure has its effects across the state. Everyone's seen that as of recently. But it's not like it was a Cheeseman that was natural and all of a sudden is just cratering.
Right.
It's just not.
No.
But that's how the way they're wording makes it seem that way.
Yeah.
And I think it's complete BS. And I also think it's part of the public is to blame for it because it's the ones that get ruined by catching pellet heads and all they want to do is catch fish that are 10 plus pounds.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, I think there's people that would rather just see Paul Tudor Jones start stocking giant fish and feeding them again and have the permit system than ones that would rather see people try to create it into a good wild fishery where you're catching 16 to 22 inch fish.
See, now you're getting to the point where, like, because I do believe that there is a split in the fishing community about this river. And this is why I know that the pressure doesn't have a lot to do with it. Do you believe that the canyon section of that river fishes similar to when we first started floating it?
Yes.
Like if you go back to 2000,
There's good days and there's bad days.
if you go back to 2017 or 18, before they're claiming that all this pressure was there, was the canyon similar to what it is now?
I think so.
From a day-to-day standpoint.
Probably.
Like there's good days, there's bad days, there's hatches, there's different times a year. I mean, there's a green drake hatch that's great when it's not going on.
Yeah.
You can have rough days in the canyon or you can have 20 fish days, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The point is that there is a group of fishermen that only put in and never fish any of the sections of the river until they get down to the ranch.
Majority of them do. And that's also why their claims about the middle section are BS, because not a lot of people fish it anyway, in my opinion.
No. So the fishing pressure isn't hurting anything up high. It's only hurting the pellet head section.
Yeah.
And it really hurts it when you stop stocking and you stop pellet feeding.
Yeah.
But you've already told us that because of the dams, that there's not enough food in the water to support big fish.
I just would love,
How are you going to fix that?
I would love to see pellet feeding get banned.
I would too. But back to
And what
it
would
needs
ban
to.
that is high water mark law.
Yeah, because then people could walk into your property, so no one's going to waste time.
I know.
Yeah. But this is what I wanted to really, really get at is if friends of the lower blue are really that concerned about the health of the river, okay, let's talk about the entire section of river. Here's what they would do. First of all, they would get consistent flows. They would have a flow minimum.
And that involves not just figuring out the lower blue management plan, figure out why the freaking section between below Dillon, even Dillon itself,
Yeah.
but the Silverthorne, below Silverthorne to Green Mountain sucks. I mean,
It sucks.
I floated a few sections in there where there's not pellet heads, and it's awful. Terrible.
I mean,
It's like you'd think there's negative fish in there. Like, it's awful.
like the fish got out of the river and walked away.
So figure that out too. But it's only about the lower blue because it's being pushed by.
Yes.
Oh, dude, it drives me nuts.
It's being pushed by a biologist who's paid for by
Blue
the
Valley
ranch.
Ranch. You
Period.
spend a lot of money putting those fish.
And
in.
they're gaslighting us and you as the public and claiming that it's our fault that his pellet-fed fish are dying. That's basically what it comes down to.
Which, like I said, it's hard to handle those fish and get them unhooked. And people
Let's
do
key
kill
on
those
that.
fish down there.
Let's key on
Those
that for
fish
1
die
second.
because of pressure down there. So that part is technically correct, but the overall.
That's why I said you have to section the river off. What are
I
we
know.
actually talking about? Are we talking about the whole of the lower blue, or are we only talking about the pellet head section? Because I will tell you this. When you're in a boat and you're rowing and you can't touch the ground or you can't anchor, it is hard to revive a fish in the way that fish could survive. If they really just cared about the survival of the fish and they weren't worried about the trespassing or anything like that, they would allow a fisherman who has a fish and is fighting a fish to pull over, land that fish, get out of the boat temporarily, put the head of a fish into a current, revive that fish for whatever it takes, 5 to 7 minutes, and then I'll bet your mortality rate would drop by 75%.
Oh, I bet.
So that's an important piece of it.
Yeah.
But honestly, if we really want to talk about fixing the entirety of the blue, figure out how to get consistent flows. And I don't mean consistent flows at 100 CFS, because they're already claiming also, that's the other thing, that the safest low navigable flow is 350, which number one isn't true, because I floated it safely and not touched anything below 350, so that's not true.
Yeah.
But they crank it up to 11, 12, 2 years ago it was 1400 CFS during runoff. So how about this? You hold the water, you have a minimum flow, you hold it at 400, you hold it at 400 CFS year round.
And the fish would, yeah.
Number one, guess why they won't do that?
Because you can float it year round.
Because then you could float it year round. Because let's be clear, right now, they're only basing this off of 125 floatable days because they never bumped the flow up enough till July to float, and then it's done by October. Nope. So they won't do that. So do they really care about the lower blue then? Because if you cared about the lower blue,
they
you'd
just care
increase
about
the
their
flow.
pellet head fish that they keep
1,000%.
raising and putting in there. Like, if they really were about conservation, they would do the stream improvement, and they'd be stocking smaller fish that can reproduce better.
Yep.
And trying to get a true wild, sustainable population.
They're also talking about
not tiger trout that can't that are sterile anyway. Like, do you
exactly.
know what I mean? Like,
or triploids. They got triploids in there,
Yeah.
and triploids are sterile. So they're stocking fish that will never reproduce, and tiger trout are not going to
it's
reproduce.
just crazy.
So you're being gaslighted. For anyone who's watching, you are being lied to when they claim that it's about conservation and saving the lower blue, because the only thing they're saving is pellet-fed fish.
Yep. I just really think, like, everyone can acknowledge that fishing pressure has gotten really bad in the last few years.
And it does affect fisheries.
And it
I'm not
affects fisheries,
saying
but
that.
I think that's even more of a reason for all fly fishermen and fishermen, whatever, to differentiate now what it means to fish and be in the mountains versus going to a fish farm. Like, if you want to catch pellet heads, it should stay in a pond at a fish farm.
I'm all for it. If that's what you want to do.
I think it's time people separate their fishing experiences, because, like, combining it like this, it for some people it ruins fishing for them, you know?
Yeah, because once you, like, I'll tell you, once you catch like a 15 or 20 pound rainbow,
Yeah.
like, it's life
And you
altering.
can catch
That's
them
all you
over
wanna
and
do.
over and
Yeah.
over, and it's just
It's
it
like
gives
crack.
people a complete false sense of what it means to fish and float, in my opinion, for trout.
I agree. The other thing, the only thing I want to say is that they also are claiming that estimated indicators of overuse in the Blue River, they are putting low nutrient levels trigger algae blooms, Didymo presence, reduces invertebrate juvenile fish and spawning habitat. How is usage adding to the algae bloom
Right.
and the low nutrients?
Yeah, because why isn't it happening at Cheeseman and Deckers then, that gets hit way harder than
Yeah.
the lower Blue River
Yeah.
or any other place?
So figure out why there's no nutrients in Green Mountain. Figure that part out. Get the nutrient level up, whatever we've got to do. Increase the flows to a minimum low flow, like 400 CFS. Keep it that way year round. The fish would go up. Then you would have a true wild fishery. No one would have to, but they don't want that. That's the thing.
Even if it didn't go up immediately and they still had to keep figuring it out, I just think no matter what, just stop pellet feeding them.
I agree.
And then the pressure will go down, and
Yeah.
then you'll be able to fix the fishery.
100%.
And part of it would really just make me laugh, because there's so many people, like, all they want to do is just go float the lower blue.
And it would weed them out
Yeah, it would.
because they won't go down there anymore.
I know.
And then we won't have
Pressure.
You know,
Yeah.
social media people that only go down there just to get 10,000 likes
Yeah.
on a 20-pound fake fish.
Yes.
And then make a
And 'cause
living off of
that's
it.
happening way too much now. I can't stand seeing.
I mean, dude, I'm not going to call anyone out, but it's crazy the people that use that to promote themselves.
Yeah.
And not even, well, number one, there's guides that do it and hold these fish and then promote their guide service
Yep.
by holding a fish that no client can go catch because you can't guide down there legally. Or there's just people that want the
Attention
the
and
attention and
likes.
the ego boost and the likes by going down there and posting it. So
Yeah.
the whole, like, there's a lot of moving pieces to it, but I would love for someone to come up with, change this plan. So, Friends of the Lower Blue, change the plan so that there's never another huge stocked fish and there's never pellet feeding again, and show us that you really want to fix
That
the
you really
entire-
care about conservation.
Yes.
Because that's not conservation.
No.
That's just private land ownership trying to limit public access and do what they want with their river.
1,000%. That's it.
It's shocking, dude.
Conservation is who really just have billionaire friends.
But they do it in the name of conservation to make the public think, oh, yeah, this is better.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
It's completely gaslighting.
Yeah. And then blame us, the public, because you don't like us in your backyard.
Because what's next? They're going to permit people fishing deckers and cheesemen
Yeah, you have to sign up for a
days?
day
to go fish it?
or a beat. You got to
Because
sign up
it's
for a
better
beat
for
to
the
fish
fishery.
it.
Like, it might be true at some point, but like, is that where we're getting to?
I mean, cheeseman is world known. Everyone knows it's world renowned as a fishery, and it
Just
still
makes you
has a lot of
wonder where
fish.
the outdoors landscape is going towards.
Yeah, it's getting
And social media has so much like negatively impacted that right there.
Yeah.
Across the board, hunting, fishing, anything.
just for people's egos.
Yeah.
So yes, Friends of the
Yet-
Lower Blue. If you
yet-
want to save it the right way, not this.
Yeah.
Let's go fish.
We're going to fish tomorrow.
Let's go to the Lower Blue.
Let's go fish the lower blue.
Let's do it. I think it's at I think right now, I think they dropped it to below 100 now. So that'll be
Be a fun time.
good floating. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I was about to get into the whole social media thing, but maybe that's just another day.
I think there's a lot to unpack when it comes to the social media world and the outdoors. I don't know if we want to mix it with the Lower
Yeah, maybe
Blue.
not. I do think the video you showed me from the amount of people that have just hammered the Ontario Reds this year is brutal. It's brutal.
I think that the funny part is that someone did
that
a
video.
tutorial on how to
Tutorial on how to rig a bead and drag it through the balls of browns.
that are circle spot.
The amount
attempting
of
to
hate
spawn.
that guy got was
Dude, it
immediately was crazy.
I mean,
when he took the video off.
Yeah, and the dude has like
87,000 followers, but that just it's just another example of like someone just trying to get content. But like all of the people that have done that added up in all of the places just continues to negatively impact all of the fisheries.
And you know, it is hard because some of the people that use social media, just like we do, in terms of trying to promote a product.
Well, that's what makes me laugh about like fly shops and guides, is that the people that work at fly shops can't stand the influencer people who are trying to get content to get pro deals from businesses and stuff,
Get a
right?
free
Yet
rod.
their fly shop and guide service will promote anything and where they fish as long as they can get the trips booked, right?
And sometimes I don't think that even guides understand, or not guides, but
It's
fly
like a
shipping.
weird
It is because a fly shop employee was working at the fly shop that needs customers in order to stay
to
in
help
business
people be successful fishing.
to employ him.
Yes.
Or her.
Yet the fly shop employees don't want to help them because the more people fishing their spots, the more pressure on places, the more places don't fish as well, the more they have bad fishing experience. Like it
Yeah.
makes me laugh.
Or how about worse than that? The fly shop employees that are influencers as well,
Exactly.
who only want the
dude.
spots for themselves,
a
but
hard-
want to be employed in the fly fishing industry at the same time.
That's like anything with the outdoor, like fishing though, especially. I feel like it's like that. And like what we're doing. I mean, we're promoting fish. Like I don't want to tell people like don't go like. Do you know what I mean?
No.
But like now, look, we're talking about a permit system because of pressure. Apparently, even though that's BS, but it's funny. Gosh, we got a few maybe that'll be our next podcast.
I know.
Is social media
And why fly shops hate their
and
customers.
why fly shops hate their customers.
We'll have to do that.
Yeah.
Dude,
Did you want to talk about the story we tried to talk about last week? Or no?
what are we even talking about?
Florida. when I broke rods.
Oh, dude, I don't even know. Should we just save that for the frickin' fly shop one?
Yeah, we can. Yeah, let us know what you'd rather. Well, I guess we'll just talk about both of them.
Yeah.
Let us know if you've had experiences with, and we're not saying. I mean, there's a lot of great fly shops. Like,
I'll call it Anglers All.
Yeah,
We
I
love
love-
you guys.
yeah, they're great.
Best dudes ever.
there's a lot of other good ones, but there's a few. I know people have experiences where they go in and feel like, what the fudge,
Yeah, like what did I just do?
right?
Like you walk in and almost the employees. There's either two times. I feel like there's two kinds of fly shops. There's the fly shop where they can't wait for you to come in because they're trying to hard sell you on everything. They follow you around and
Or they
ask
just
if
want you to get out of there and not give you any info
Yes.
about anything,
That's the other one,
which is usually like the young kids who just,
typically.
yeah. All right. We'll see you on the next episode. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for being here.
It's a muskrat. It's swimming. Oh, yeah, there we go. In my backing.
This is the TFC. This is the TFC.
This is the TFC Riffles and Rants podcast.